A big tree thinning operation is in full swing after 100 years of little attention. All the paths were just a mud bath. People with prams and walkers got into quite a mess walking round the loch. Some of the trees lost their roots to disease and blew over in the high winds. A lot of trees came out because of ash dieback, which was quite rampant at the time, although some of the ash trees appeared to be immune to the disease. All the trees were felled manually, except for some softwood trees at the far end of the loch, which were felled mechanically. This huge forward machine arrived. The operator worked the arm from his cab. The mechanical arm, being very flexible, loaded the trees without any problem. The felled trees were then stacked in a nice pile in this car park, set up in 2016, one of the first projects for Haining. The Haining estate was handed over to the people of Selkirk and surrounding district in 2010. The Haining Trust was then set up and a huge transformation was started. The car park soon filled up with felled trees, mostly for firewood. The harvester has arrived for the clear fell operation at the far end of the loch. Here he is busy cutting his way into the fell area. The Haining Loch has 5 small streams feeding into it. The loch was formed in the Ice Age. At one time it was measured at 45 feet deep in the middle. Soon there was trees lying about everywhere, but nicely laid out for the tree forwarding machines to remove. Another forwarder arrived and the trees were moved very quickly. The brush from the trees was all collected and taken away to an incinerator. After the trees were removed, the paths, along with some new ones, began to take shape. Bottoming for the paths came from this old quarry, which was opened up, saving the Haining Trust a fortune. Grading and sorting the spoil so that the work can progress. Selkirk built on a hillside. There's bound to be a rock or two to shift. A wee sequence from the far end of the loch. Great attention being paid to detail. All garden work is carried out by volunteers. The local canoe club has access to the loch for practice purposes. The water hens became quite tame, and in autumn the fungus shows above the ground. Trees would not grow without fungus. Let's get back to the work in hand and eliminate the glare, so that the locals and visitors alike can enjoy the walk. A completely new path was established so that the main house could have some privacy for functions, allowing people the freedom of the loch. On the west side of the loch, this path received the same updates. We have moved into the Clearfell area, where another completely new path was established. Great attention to detail being carried out. A little story from Scott McComb.
This is the boundary, this is the loch, and the boardwalk's here, path up to the viewpoint, left to the boardwalk, over a bridge to the viewpoint, and continue back down and connect back onto the main lochside path. But there's going to be a bench area here. This should be a view that should never be lost. So the tree planting should be sympathetic outside this view, right down over the wetland area, right over the loch to the house, should be planted. You never lose this view.
Will that be adhered to? Only time will tell. To go in now, and what a lovely place this is going to end up. This seat is dedicated to a local suicide victim from the local group called Frightened Rabbits. The Haining is steeped in history, even having an abbey in years gone by. Everything comes to a finish, but the story goes on.